They say this is a big rich town.
Free will is never free. Welcome back, guys, to Power Book 2. And after a wee hiatus, of course, we were reviewing Power Book 4, and I was told to watch it in that order. And that's exactly the order that I've watched it in. Free will is never free. Looking forward to this season. But what I would say immediately is, I just don't think Power Book 2 is as good as 4. And that doesn't mean it's bad, but you just feel like a noticeable drop off in quality. We kick off. It's pretty much the next day from the murder of Jakari Reynolds. Oh, shut your mouth, you foul wearing fatty. The teacher at the school. So yeah, Tariq's freaking out here. Jasmine then actually burns some pancakes. Grandma comes out. She's looking older than ever, and she didn't even remember Tariq coming over. I thought what they were playing on here was the fact that she's getting like dementia, but it seems more of a like she's drinking sort of thing. So I'm not too sure what's really going on here, but we'll have to wait and see at the end of the day. We then have Monet. She's kind of like getting PTSD, feel like the previous offense and all that stuff. So essentially, like season 2, episode 1 here is what, like an hour. Well, sorry, not an hour, but like it's the next day. So I mean, they literally just left Tom Egan at the graveyard last time. That's the intriguing one there. We then see Kane and his I was gonna say his crew. There's not many of them. We meet this new guy, and then he just like kills these two guys who are part of the guy that's underneath Kane's crew. I can't remember their name. That's what happens when you go from like Power Book 2 to Power Book 4. So yeah, you've got this guy. They think he's a cop, but then he ends up killing these two. Kane looks like he's established a relationship with this guy. Could this be the move going forward? He's like, I've got to connect. So Kane tries to get him with Monet at the end of the episode, but it doesn't really work in this situation. Meanwhile, we've got Davis and Sax, of course. They're teaming up for the whole new law form. And I was like, what's this agenda here for Davis? Turns out he's got a brother, and he thinks he can use Sax to get his brother out of jail. So ain't that very good. Ain't that very good, brother. Tariq, though, he wants to find Tasha, even though she's in witness protection. It's like, hold on here. Like, how many laws in the book of laws, damn it, would Davis and Sax have to break to find this information? Quite incredible, my brothers. Quite incredible. But yeah, we've got Seek. He's practicing some basketball. You know, Monet comes to visit him. She's not exactly ecstatic about everything that's been going down, of course. And with Kelly, R. Kelly, not quite R. Kelly. Don't like R. Kelly here on this channel. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Bend my wings and fly away. I believe I can fly. But no confuses me again with this. It's like we had not too long ago in Power Book 4, just at the end of the finale, like Medina and Rodriguez. Like, what's happening with those two? Like, they were like kind of wanting to go after that. Was that just simply solely to set up them moving to Chicago to go after investigate the Irish horseman's death? I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll get more stuff in this like university, and I mean, this is like all woke shit, you know. Oh, the old white men, you know, that stick. But what is this though? Like, you've got some people here, right, that are literally just in Tyreek's class. You've got the black girl in here, right? Who like always like speaks against the whites, and it's like her only like purpose in this show is to be in fucking Tyreek's class. It almost feels like a waste of effort and time, to be honest. Monet then picks up a shipment, and the police are talking to Diana. She thinks, oh no, this is not looking good, brother. We cut the tape. He's on his brother's couch, and he manages to get his life turned around. He's going to go for the Democratic Party's like council position, but turns out that guy's a legend. Is he going to get it? Who knows? Monet, though, puts away her gun. Everything's good with the NYPD. But then back on campus, everyone is finding out that the main man has passed away. Jakari Reynolds. It's now an open investigation. Kelly looks like a suspect, but she's not. We also have this thing at Trace text Braden And they do this ceremony every year, like just before Thanksgiving. It's cringe. He gets a car, so good for Braden. But Tyreek sticks out like a sore thumb here and kind of buries the Democratic guy, which I was all for. But yeah, Jakari's been ID'd. It's official. We all knew it was him anyway. We didn't need this confirmation if we're being brutally honest. But yeah, Tyreek kisses Lauren. She's like, I can't believe he's dead. And then Tyreek's like, well, you know what? I've lost that many people in my life. I don't really care if our teacher's dead. And you know what? That's a fair enough point. I mean, he's lost his father. Yeah, he killed him. Like, look at how people that's died, like Sean and other people, like his fucking sister, his twin sister. Kane, though, he's worried about the information that could be coming out because, of course, the cop that was a friend of Monet's, they used his gun. Looks like he's going to get the murder pinned on him. Will that come back to bite them? I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Monet asked Tariq about it, but he completely denies everything. But yeah, how's this going to go down? I'm not too sure, to be honest. And then, how do we end this chaos? We end it. We got Monet, kids at this point. You got Diana and oh god, I can't remember what the other son's called. Can't remember, but yeah, these two thinking about they should make moves for themselves. Then it ends this episode with Tate trying to get back up to what he used to be. Then we got a bit of hunting and a deer gets killed, and Tyreek freaks out with Braden and his family. There's not really much to say about it. He just freaks out after he almost gets shot in the head. By the way, was this guy like trying to kill him? You could almost argue it, but I don't know. It's like we're back with season 2, and it's like I'm just not digging it. I'm going to continue watching it. I'm not saying it's like that bad, but it's just not Power Book 4 for me. It's not. But I like the fact that it's all connected. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give this episode a 5 out of 10. I thought it was a really bog standard season premiere. But anyway, till next time, leave your thoughts down below and peace. Just a touch world. Dante's making moves and he's making some love songs while he's at it. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It is Season 2, Episode 2 of Power Book 2. There's a lot of 2s in there, but we've got Selfish Acts. We kick off this episode. We actually see Kanan. Kanan's sitting there talking to Tariq. I like this. We see Kanan basically saying you have to throw it away, but he's not really willing to throw his mum's final text message away to him on, of course, the burner phone. But then the NYPD's ramping the door and he has to go down to the station. Turns out Grandma got arrested driving with influence. And yeah, Yasmin is now getting took into, care, so to speak, foster parents, all that crazy stuff. So that's not looking good for him. And he can't go back with Tyreek because guess what? College dorm's not exactly suitable for that. Howard Stern then sits down with Tate and tells him, you'd be great on the canvas of Stansfield. And also, look at this fine piece of ass you can get to know. So I thought that was kind of funny. Kane then arrives at Dante's apartment, gives him a good reason why, I could move the product. But then one reason why he's not good to get in bed with for Kane is because that GTG member shows up and Dante starts snapping his fingers like, Kane, this just ain't going to work because of the people you hang around with people like this. The guy walks up, man. He's like the whole Instagram live thing. I get it. They're trying to incorporate real life shit into this world, which makes sense. But at the end of the day, this is just a bad idea for the get go. Bad idea. The NYPD, Big Kevin, he's going around asking questions here, trying to get to the bottom of this. We've got Seek's press conference. Seek then goes over to Kelly's house later in the episode. Kelly, of course, is quickly becoming the prime suspect. Tyreek kind of points the NYPD in that direction. And then the NYPD see, of course, Seek leaving the classroom. The teacher's rooms, the house, apartment, whatever. Kevin then confronts Kelly about this and essentially says, if you coerce anything with Seek, I'll bring you both fucking down. So things are not looking good for Seek at this point. He was speaking with Drew. There was an agent as well, and this football agent wanting to work with Seek, but Seek's obviously thinking about what could be best for him. It was actually funny kind of seeing Tate in the classroom and all that good stuff. So yeah, but then we've got to move the drugs, and because Tyreek's very busy with everything that's happening with his family, he gives it to Braden to move the drugs. He drops it off to Effie, and when Effie goes to sell it on, it turns out it ain't drugs. They've been stepped on. It's pure and utter sugar. And when Monet finds out about it, she just laughs, which is funny. Sax finds out from his lawyer, friends with benefit woman, essentially, that Tyreek helped in the case to kind of play Kelly as the killer, and obviously at this point, Sax is thinking, you know what, Tyreek's probably got something to do with this murder because there's been a murder. And you know what, Tyreek's got everything to do with this murder. Again, I think Sax should just stay away. Like, why would he care? Honestly, at the end of the day, if this is true, like if Tyreek, I mean, he knows like Tommy and Ghost killed so many people, and he couldn't get them. So I think he should just call it a day, Sax, man. He's got a good wee job here. Kane then pulls up, starts talking to Drew. It's like, I got us a new connect, Drew. Yada, yada, yada. And I was actually wondering, like, what's going on. It actually turns out that Kane stole the drugs from Braden's house and replaced it with sugar in order to set up this connect with Dante, which was quite smart for him. But I'm surprised, like, Monet didn't really call it out. But obviously, she blamed it on the dealer that she killed in the season finale last time out. But yeah, I think that was a little bit silly, if I'm being brutally honest. Throughout this episode, Monet keeps like peeking out the window. She sees this like red Subaru sort of car drive past. She's like, I wonder who that is. She then meets up with Lorenzo and she's like, I'm sick of this on our anniversary meeting in here. What's the end game? Yeah, you just feel like he doesn't, like, Lorenzo's going to get killed, man. But see, when he dies, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to care. I'm not going to care in the slightest. Diana then goes to Effie, tells her, I want you to teach me about the game, which I thought was kind of funny. Kane then goes to Dante, says, right, I'm going to bring the new Connect in, or the new buyer, so to speak, and it's my family. He's like, so hold on, you stole from your family? He's like, no, I just gave them an opportunity. So that's when the reveal was about Kane, which I think was the smart decision. And then have this like weird ceremony thing at Stansfield where they're all outside getting their asses slapped. I was like, what? What's going on here? This is like the craziest, weirdest thing I've ever seen in my puff. Honestly, man. So weird, so mental. And it leaves us then with the next option of Sax. He comes into the office speaking to Davis. Davis looking at his brother's shit. So is he going to get his brother off? I'm not too sure, but you know, they're kind of worrying about what's going on here. And then this is when Davis finds out about Kelly. He goes over to Kelly trying to help her. But with Kelly at this stage of the game, I think she's made her bet. I don't think it's really going to work. Tyreek then throws his phone and the SIM card in the fire. He's up on the roof with Lauren. Diana rings him. And then because Lauren kind of feels a bit blown off because that she leaves Tyreek on the rooftop. And then as the episode ends, it's actually Seek who gets arrested, and is like the woman that he was, like the girl that he was banging was filming the whole thing. And you know, he was told by not Diana, sorry, what do you call her, Monet, not to be sleeping around. And obviously, you know, because Seek's going to be getting that big contract, if he's just went and got this woman pregnant, oh no, you have to pay a lot of that money out. So yeah, she films that. It's going to blow up next episode. Monet then meets with Dante, and it confirms what we need to know. And you know, that's basically how the episode ends. I mean, it was an alright meeting between these two. That finished selfless acts. But no, what I think is quite intriguing though, I actually think that she referred to like the late 80s. I don't know how old Kane is. I would put Kane at like age 35, so maybe that's a bit unrealistic. But you know, maybe they've been on and off. I don't know with this Dante guy. I honestly think that maybe Dante could be like the father of Kane. That could be like a pretty big twist. Obviously, I don't know, like, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. But anyway, I want you to leave your thoughts down below. And until next time, that's it for Fog Entertainment. Signing out. Yes, 1 a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a bit better than the premiere, but overall, I think Power Book 2 needs to step its game up in the last few episodes. That's for sure. The greater good! Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're here with Power Book 2 Season 2, Episode 3. Thankfully, we've lost one of the 2s, because last time it was Episode 2, Power Book 2, Season 2, 2. But we begin this episode with Tyreek pays a visit to his uncle, Rashad Tate. That's who he tries to label the guy as, and everyone's kind of wondering why this gangster kid, you know. But then it's kind of like, right, would people not recognise Tyreek at this stage of the game? I mean, surely they would. He just wants Rashad's help with getting his sister back. Can Rashad come through? We'll have to wait and see. But in return, he wants dirt on the Westons and that Stick Sweeney motherfucker, that guy. We know who he's talking about. We then have a meet between Monet, Tyreek and Kane. Obviously, she's not really aware of the whole prior engagement that these two met with each other, and obviously they killed Richard Reynolds, buddy. But so yeah, but she thinks these two are going to work together now, and Tyreek doesn't get left too much. I thought it was funny. Kane then heads over to Dante's place. Dante's throwing a party for this guy. The guy then kind of badmouths Dante, and then Dante chokes him out, and then Kane continues to get a lap dance. Meanwhile, we've got Seek. He's down at the police station. He's getting interrogated by Big Kevin. He doesn't give anything up, and essentially this shafts Kerry because he's not admitting that he was with Kerry. He's not admitting to the relationship. He's trying to do it as a favour, like he obviously not admit anything, but also not admitting anything doesn't give her an alibi. So I'm interested to see how that's going to shaft her in the slightest. You've still got Tate and Carrie doing the interviews in school. I mean, these aren't really doing anything for me, but essentially Seek's allowed to go. But Kevin lets Carrie know that things aren't looking good for you, Hen, because guess what? If he doesn't give you an alibi, looks like you are going down for first-degree murder, brother, of your ex-lover, Jakari Reynolds. We had, Tariq helping out, Lauren in the class. Did this do anything for me? Not exactly, big man. Not exactly. Then we have Diana. She pays her dad a visit. They hug. This scene didn't do much for me because they were speaking in Spanish and there was no subtitles. And I'm an uneducated motherfucker, so I don't understand any. Well, I understand a few words of Spanish, but two people speaking in sentences, that words I've never heard before. I'm not supposed to understand that, man. Of course, I'm not supposed to understand that. Didn't understand it. Absolute catastrophe. Absolute joke. I didn't understand it anymore. They don't ride like that anymore. Down, 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 down. They don't ride like that anymore. Anyway, I think the gist of this scene is she's not really agreeing with Bonnie's handling. Monet then goes out with Dante. We find out a bit more about these two, that they used to be lovers and they left 24 years ago, which to me, I think that means he could be Kane's son. Because I'm not... Like, when she said, 1988, that made me think, well, there's no way Kane's, 30-odds. He is, mid-20s to me, and I think that makes a bit more sense these days. So, yeah, they go on a helicopter ride, and they're all wondering, where the hell's Monet? She's out getting some of that Dante dick. We have Lauren talking with our mates, they want to get high. Lauren's like, no, if they smell it off me, I can't get a job. And then one of our mates is like, yeah, I was banging Seek Cross and his big dick. And she's the one, of course, that filmed it. So obviously that's not good news. But Tyreek, he's still getting a wee bit hated for Lauren here. And he's like, you know what, come with me, Lauren, we're going to do something good. And what's he doing? He's paying a visit to his sister, Yasmin. So, yeah, I think Tyreek's a massively overrated character, right? I say massively overrated. I don't think a lot of people actually rate him, per se. I know this show's kind of his show. Well, I mean, it is his show, but it's not exactly... it's a tough one. He can't carry a show, in my opinion, the same way Tommy can carry a show. But Lauren essentially lets Tyreek in, and it's her first time. So yeah, giggity, 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 goo. So there you go. But at this point, Seek, he's not being let out of the police station. Monet goes down. They're kind of having back and forth, D2. But Tyreek managed to kind of sort this out. He got Davis on it. So yeah, it's not good, this crazy shit. But obviously Kane finds out, kind of thinks that Tyreek's going back on his deal, and he's the one that jobbed out Seek, and at this point, Seek's world is kind of coming crashing down, if we're being honest. Then we end the episode, and we get Braden and Kane. He gives him the money, the drugs, yada yada yada, and then he's like, you know what, though, we can't do this right now. Then overnight passes, Kane gives him the drop off, so to speak, and batters him to a pulp. No, he doesn't batter him. He whips out two strippers from him, and Braden gives the stripper money, which I thought was kind of funny because Tyreek needs his help. Tyreek needs his help in order to do this. He needs to provide an income to prove that he can take care of Yasmin at this stage of the game. Diana's kind of onto the fact that maybe Kane's the one that fucked up their pipeline previously. But at the end of the day, this has ended up in a better deal for them. So you can't really say this is a absolute disaster here. Sax, meanwhile, he's still banging that woman. So yeah, crazy talk. But obviously, like Power Book 4 ended like season 1 with like Rodriguez and Medina. It looks like they're going to go to Chicago potentially. But I thought there might have been. But then I believe Power Book. Let me see here. Yeah, so Power Book 2 season 2 actually came out before season 1 of Power Book 4. So yeah, I don't really. It's a bit confusing, but anyway, this is the order I was told to watch it, young ats. You got it right, buddy. Anyway, I mean that's pretty much where our episode ends. They get the new income set up. So yeah, how's that going to go down? Not really too sure. Tariq, is he going to get his own house? I mean, I'll prefer him in his own house rather than the sorry excuse of a fucking dorm with Seek Cross. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. I just feel it needs to do a wee bit better. It needs to do a wee bit better then.
Good in these in. So welcome back, guys, to Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 4. We're trying to escape those twos, aren't we? But anyway, looking forward to this episode, talking about it, discussing it. And we begin. Carrie, she's trying to phone the main man, Seek, but then who threatens her? Back Wendy smashed in, Monet jumps in, says, "What the hell did you do?" And then, yeah, she confesses that she's not the one that actually killed her. So all this shit's gone down. We then have Tyreek, he confronts Sax, and Hot Davis essentially says, "You need to get Seek off this because it's not looking good. If he goes away, I go away. My future is on the line here." But Sax is very, doesn't want to help Tyreek, so to speak. Kevin, though, he's digging into this. Then we get this big meet between Simon Stern, Rashad Tate, and essentially they're telling Big Kevin to step off. Seek's not the guy. We don't want any negative publicity come raining down on Stansfield. He's like, "No one owns me." He's like, "Yeah, but you know what? I do." So there we have it. Also, Rashad Tate's brother, the cop now, I believe he's like a district attorney sort of level sort of guy. He's put on the case now, which is quite intriguing. But other man is going to get Seeker, I don't know. But the main aim of the game here is that Monet has to pay Davis $1 million, and when she opens the safe, they're not there. She then cuts this guy's ear off, and he doesn't give up any information, and she ends up shooting him. So yeah, Monet needs to get $1 million. Kane's like, "I'll do my own thing." We've also got Diana with Effie. Effie looked pretty good, by the way, with her hair down. I'm just going to say that. And we got they're doing like a credit card scam, those two. So yeah, and then she goes to her dad, Lorenzo. She doesn't go to her dad, Lorenzo, but she asks if she can transit in the motion of her father. And he's like, "Absolutely not. You have to get your father to sign off," which he doesn't sign off. Lorenzo. There's a massive reveal in this episode, and I may as well just talk about it now, but Lorenzo's like, "No, he's not our kid, Seek." But then at the end of the episode, right, it's revealed that Seek is the son of Dante, and he's the son of Dante and Monet? But I'm pretty sure. I don't know what I'd say. It's revealed as Seek. I'm not too. It's one of the kids. I'm going to assume it has to be Kane or Seek. There's no way Seek's 24 in this show, because that just wouldn't work for an age. It wouldn't. So, kind of confused about how all this is going to go down, to be honest. But then we see Kane. I think the son. I think Dante's son is Kane. To be perfectly honest, I think that's the way the show's going down. Lauren's being investigated as well, interrogated. She's got caught with a drug dog. She's like, "I ain't no snitch," but then she actually decides to wear a wire on a watch, which Tyreek notices, and it looks like Tyreek's now going official with her. And now Seek, after basically getting in a confrontation with this news reporter guy and Drew, is having to do a sit-down interview, else the beans will be spilled. So this ain't good for Seek in the slightest. We then cut to Drew, and him and his boyfriend Everett are having love, and I don't like this. I don't like watching this. It's hard. It's hard. That's the last word I wanted to use, but no, I don't like it. As heterosexual male. I don't like watching homosexuality on my TV screens, but here. 2024, into it. Into it, folks. Into it. Into it. You like it, you got it. Tyreek's prep and seek for all these questions. But then, the interviewer, she asks a question off script. Oh no! For big Seek, end of the line. Not looking too good here for him. Then we get to the interview and he's doing alright, but then she asks the question off script. But did you know a detective Ramirez? And he's like, no. And she's like, well, that's odd because, you whipped out his card. And then now it turns out the NYPD have issued a warrant for Seek. Honestly, just because he backtracked on this guy, like, where's the proof? He's got all the alibis in the world. It's honestly a disaster. It is a disaster at this point of the game. Davis then warning Monet not to do anything. Dangerous. Kane decides to leave. Monet confronts him. Then Kane essentially tells Monet the truth. Well, you've got to make this right. And obviously, this episode, him and Hayden have been doing these jobber heists, so to speak, on jewellery stores and other things. And then his final course of action is, what's he doing this time? Digging up Ramirez's body for the NYPD to find. And obviously, this is going to distance Seek from the case with Tyreek confronting his grandma, Big Mama, because he's going to fight her for custody over Raina, and she basically starts slobbering to him. Like, oh, you're the guy that's brought all this bad news on the family. Everett also revealed to Drew that he's the one that kind of pointed the NYPD in the direction of Seek, and also did in turn say about... Jesus Christ, why am I yawning, man? He said that he also mentioned his name, but I mean, Tyreek's the one that really put the shitstorm in motion. But yeah, they revealed towards the end of the episode that Dante is the father. I believe he said he's the father of Kane. Because he's talking about getting our son out of trouble. It was referred to Seek, but now it looks like it's Kane, so... Yeah. Kane's the oldest. I know they've been treated... But then is it... I don't know if it's Kane or Seek. Am I an idiot for not being able to realise? No, I think it is Kane, because Kane feels definitely more like Dante's son than Lorenzo's at this stage of the game. That's my personal opinion. And then the episode ends with Kane leaving Detective Ramirez's badge in the dorm of Hayden and Tyreek's. And it's like, at this stage of the game, there's no way. It's going to be so obvious that that's Kane that's did that. And then Hayden will probably rat on King, and also there's talk of the NYPD doing a whole sweep. So, I mean, I enjoyed this episode. I do like the whole whodunit angle. I know we know whodunit, but I do like reveals, and I do like people setting up evidence in order to get someone else shafted. So, looking forward to see how this storyline plays out. I mean, who's going to go to jail for this murder? I mean, I guess it could be Tyreek. We'll have to wait and see. And then he'll probably get... I think Tyreek going to jail is one of the final steps that the character needs. Because, he's had it all too good in his life. I think a 5-year jail stretch / time skip, even though I know I would be in for murder, we'd have to get out after 5 years or something. I think that's the correct course for me. So anyway, guys, I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it. So until next time, leave your thoughts down below, and peace. At the mid-season point of Power Book 2, Ghost coming to roast this episode. Really, things picked up. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. Let's discuss it. We're about to hand Seek in, but then he's not getting handed in because he's free to go, damn it, with the discovery of Agent Ramirez's body. And, I mean, it's still... The fact that he's going to hand himself in, it does look a bit suspicious regardless, but the question is here, well, who could have possibly have done this? In this episode, the heat is beginning to turn up to Tyreek's level. He goes over to Braden, basically says, has anyone been here? If Kane's here, you need to let me know. Braden lies, like, no, that's alright, I don't need to let you know, big man. Then we have Tate's brother and Kevin. They come over and basically start questioning Carrie, give her to read Jabari Reynolds' book. And she puts two and two together and realises that this has to be about Tariq. It can only be Tariq, but they're not too sure about that. Dante
and Monet meet this episode, and he's like, I want to meet my son. So yeah, I had some questions last time, but turns out their son's Seek. But what age is Seek? So did he have an affair with Monet? Is Seek the youngest? I'm not too sure. I'm kind of confused what age Seek is compared to like Drew and Diana, because I know I'm going willing to bet good money like he's younger than Kane, but anyway, Tariq though, he shows up, and Carrie starts pressing him quite hard about the whole karma thing, which everyone kind of notices. He's talking to Lauren about it. She's like, why is she pressing you so hard? Tariq's like, no idea. Monet then shows up, holds Tariq at gunpoint in the car, basically says, you fucking lied to me, but guess what, boy? I need you. So yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I mean, that's kind of her putting all her cards on the table, saying that I can't kill you, so to speak. So how's that going to go down? She basically tells Tariq to bring some dirt back on Kane. Then she tells Kane the exact same thing. You bring some dirt back on Tariq. Basically leverage against Tariq and ask for Kane, find out who the Connect is. That's what Tariq has to do. But as Kane goes over to Hayden's apartment, he runs in, he meets Lauren here. So that was quite the awkward, and he called her light skin, but obviously Lauren's wearing her wire here. And yeah, he introduced himself as Lorenzo, and they find out the police, this is Lorenzo Jr., goes by the street name and nickname Kane. A few misdemeanors he's been arrested from, not good. Tariq though, he goes to see like the other lawyer guy that's not Sachs or Davis, and yep, he actually manages to get his sister. He wins it. He gets the apartment. Lauren gives him an apartment after later on in the episode. So yeah, her brother's apartment is now Tariq's. It's a short-term fix. So yeah, he gets Yasmin. How long for? I wouldn't speak too soon about it. Seek though, he's living life. He's dressing up in pink hoodies. He's going for different hairstyles. He kind of questions the fact why he's Drew over in Everett's room. Drew is like, we met sure at your party, but hey, we don't speak about that night, don't we, my friend? And yeah, haha, we're not gay, definitely not gay, damn it. Tariq then doesn't threaten Diana, but says to her, I need some more product, and she then gets it from Kane, and Kane basically leverages the Kane. I know the one you replace the drugs with sugar. I'll tell Monet if you don't give me it. I'm surprised Kane's not a bit more pissed off with his sister here, but he kind of just lets it happen. Monet's then sitting down with Lorenzo, and then what happens? I'll tell you what fucking happens. She gets told to piss off, and he makes some sort of deal. So who's Lorenzo giving up in order to get out of jail? That's what I'm kind of intrigued about. But now they're kind of focusing their efforts towards Kane, the NYPD, with a hint of Tariq. So we'll have to see how this is going to go down. Kane drops off the shipment to Hayden. Tariq then follows Kane to the Connect, which of course is Dante's apartment. He gets outside it, and then yeah, he gets beat up by Diff, some guy with Diff, right? Beat him up. Kane said he doesn't know him, so they'll decide to let Tariq live. But then when Dante comes over, he kills Whiff, because guess what? If that was some unarmed kid or whatever, an unaffiliated kid, you've just caused a beef, and his chef just slices his throat, and Kane's kind of realised, holy shit, who am I in bed with here? But the thing is, right? Kane can be worried for his life, but there's just no way that Dante's going to kill Kane, because he's, obviously her son. And obviously, I mean, it's technically his son. It's Dante's son's brother, half brother. So yeah, and also cousin, whatever. Davis said visits his brother, and his brother's like, I'll do anything for you to keep you outside. And he's like, I'll do anything for you to keep you inside. Damn it. He talked about Seek's interview blowing up, which I thought was kind of funny. But Tariq now sporting, the beat up, the beat down, damn it. Sporting all this shit. It's not looking good. Kane then delivers Tariq's phone to Monet. He's like, there's your leverage, his sister. He needs to get her out of court, and then that's when Monet confronts Tariq and says, you know what, you fucked up, son, and because you did, and you did all this shit with Seek, I'm not letting you go in there. Then Tariq's like, you know what, Kane's the one that replaced the drugs with sugar. Drew's still fucking that guy up at Stansfield, and Diana's the one that stole your money out the safe. So how the fuck can you trust them, but you can't trust me? You gotta let me in with my sister. Then she kind of like, alright then, I'll go in. So he goes in, he gets his sister back, Big Mama, Grandma, not very impressed about this in the slightest. So at this point, it's all good news for Tariq. He's got his sister back. Dante shows up, I want to know my kid, Monet. So how's this going to go down? I'm not too sure. Will she leave? Will he leave? Who knows? The kiss looks like this is going down serious. Tariq then hugs his sister, returns to Stansfield. He gives one look to Braden. But then Tyreek St. Patrick gets arrested. We get this montage, and you know what? I think he does a very good job, the actor, by the way, of like showing like Ghost's mannerisms, because this just looks like Ghost getting arrested here. I know that's exactly what they're going for. You know, he kind of looks at everyone getting arrested. He's beat up. He goes in. The lawyer gives him a letter, sorry, that only was to be given to him if he was arrested for murder/homicide. He opens the letter up, and honestly, I thought this was actually, you know, honestly, he opens it up, and I'm like, right, what is Ghost written for Tyreek? What's he written in this letter? And I was like, what's he going to say? What is Ghost James St. Patrick, damn it? What is James St. Patrick going to say to his son? Considering the fact he knows he had to get to jail. So this is what he said. And I quote, "I knew you'd end up in here, little nigger, right where you belong." To me, that sounds more like a Kanan quote. But I guess, like, you know, it's always what he ended up referring to, like, Tyreek as. And, like, you know, he's, oh, you're a criminal by the end and all that. He wanted him to go to jail and shit. Monet then returns home, and our second big cliffhanger of the episode is that Lorenzo's out. Who's he ratted on to get out? We'll have to wait and see. It looks like it looks so obvious, and obviously with the void that Tyreek's going to serve on the outside, or because he's in the inside now. On the outside, are we going to get like Dante against Lorenzo? I'm looking forward to that. Of course, Seek being the son of Dante and the other three being the sons of Lorenzo, but also Kane's working with Dante. How the fuck is that going to go down? It's changed everything. That makes the next episode much must watch. That's the word we're looking for. I'm giving this episode an 8. I think it's easily the best episode of this season. Looking forward to episode 6, guys. But until next time, peace. Who's free? Because I'm a mother PIMP. Here we go. It's Bar Book 2, Season 2, Episode 6. What's free? Lorenzo's free, and he's cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, we've got a party. Everyone's over. You can just clearly... Monet's not doing a very good job of hiding this. I mean, she's like trying to half hide it, but like she's not looking like she's hiding it, but like in conversation she's hiding it. But Lorenzo's the main man. He's out. He's buzzing. We meet a few people here. Essentially, Lorenzo's endgame is that Diana's going to go back to school. Drew is going to run things. Kane can be a soldier, and Monet can do whatever she wants until she's like of age. Well, not until she deems herself able to go. Monet then tells Everett to go away, leave them alone. You're not wanted here. So she kind of shut that down. And I didn't think Lorenzo caught on to Everett, but he did. So how's that going to go? I am not too sure. But we've got Tyreek. He's still in jail. Things aren't looking good for him, to say the least. But then what happens? He gets out of jail. Well, I say he gets out of jail. It's not looking good for him because the bail, who's going to get my bail? But then when Sax and the main man, damn it, Sax, and what is the name? Davis. That's it. Sax and Davis. So like, there's no way a court judge is going to let you off with 2 murders, including one of a detective. He's like, all you got to do is sit me down with Rashad Tate, and I'll get off with this, which I thought was kind of funny. Then we have a scene where Lorenzo takes Kane and Drew out. They're at the bar. He basically tells Kane that, you know what, big man, you don't want it, but Drew, you want it. So Kane feels a wee bit betrayed and a wee bit pissed off. He wanted a sit down with the Connect. None of this, you know, garbage like necklaces and jewellery sort of talk. Kane then pays a visit to Tyreek and basically says, you've got to sort out who's doing this, man. And obviously Tyreek's like, oh my god, Monet and Kane manipulate it behind my back. They've put this together. And it's kind of similar, I guess, to what him and Tasha did to, like, Ghost, Kane, and so many people. Tommy, man, even at this stage of the game. Tyreek, though, is he going to go out anytime soon? Who knows? But Lauren, she's not doing too well, obviously. Her boyfriend, Tyreek's locked up, and they're all discussing it in school, but, you know, Carrie's kind of bashing Tyreek. Which, considering he's not even been convicted, like, I mean, it's a wee bit mad for her to start doing that. Monet then pays off Davis. At this point, it's like, all right then, big man, that's what's going to happen. You give me information on Tyreek, because she thought that Tyreek wasn't going to get out of jail. So Davis is getting so rich off this. Like, it's mad. I mean, you could argue that's what the guy loves doing, but he's getting like $250,000 here, $250,000. He could just retire, man. He could. Tyreek then sits down with Rashad Tate. Tate says, you know what, if I get you out, young brother, then you better deliver good on that promise. And then Tyreek's like, I'll give you the Weston photo album and that'll burn Sweeney to the ground, damn it. So yeah, Tyreek gets out. Sax is in question about the fact, how the hell are you getting him out, Rashad Tate? What sort of dirt has he got on you, buddy? What sort of dirt's he got on him? Well, I'll tell you what, he's actually got nothing on him. But then Sax and Davis are kind of butting at each other's head about Tyreek, and you know what? It's absolutely justified. I mean, but then if Sax is going to play dirty, he can't exactly play both sides of the fence like good guy, can he? No, he absolutely cannot. So yeah, all good for Tyreek. He is released at this point. He returns. He kind of has like a go. Him and Braden have a back and forth. He's like, "How the fuck could you bring Kane over here knowing to do?" Braden's like, "Yeah, I was being sick. He could have planted something then." So of course it is out now in the open that the badge was at his dorm. But again, like, they're like, it's a shared dorm. It could have been Braden, but I mean, if you're using the logic that it's a shared dorm and it could have been Braden, shouldn't he be in for some form of questioning? But Monet and Kane's gimmick here is that they want to replace Tyreek with Braden, but then Monet just shuts Braden down, so it looks like that's not going to go according to plan. Then Lauren and Tyreek share a moment, and Lauren's pissed. She goes to Carrie and says, "You fucking used me, man. You flipped me. You made me turn rat." And yeah, she kind of did, but Lauren, as the woman, the DA later, I don't know if she's the DA, but the lawyer, she says, you know what, don't sign a bit of paper before you fucking read it. And you know what, I totally agree with that. Totally and utterly agree with that, man. Should have signed it, didn't sign it, and you know what, she's only got herself to blame, if we're being honest. Effie then turns up, and her and Tyreek start kissing. It's like, yeah, you're the only one I need. Don't know if they slept together, but they started kissing then on top of the bed. But then, yeah, Tyreek was fully clothed in like one of the next scenes, so I don't know if he's cheated on Lauren here, but I mean he's kissing her, so it may as well be cheating at the end of the day, folks. We then have a family dinner back at the big house. Lorenzo, he's sitting at the head of the table. He's wearing his Louis Vuitton gear, best of clothes. They're all eating dinner. Oh yeah, Mary G. Blige, man. They're all talking about how Kane used to rap at the table, and they kind of start rapping here. It's kind of funny. Monet then heads out, tells Dante that, you know what, they need to stop seeing each other, and that now. But earlier on in the episode, she's like, "Oh, it's not the right time for us to come out, and I'll let you see Seek. That's still on the table." Now it's like, "Fuck you, Dante. You're not allowed to see Seek. You stay away from me and my family." Who the fuck does she think she is, right? This Dante guy's serious. I mean, Dante and Lorenzo are going to come to blows at the end of the day. And you know what? It's probably going to make some pretty good television, but who the fuck does she think she is? Leveraging that against him, man. Mental. Lorenzo then hears about Diana's exit plan, which basically follows Seek around America to whatever team you get drafted on. So yeah, now Lorenzo tells Drew to follow the crew. Damn it, that was earlier in the episode. And they're going to take them down. It looks like Tyreek and Braden, they've made up, so it's all good between these two. And essentially, because Tyreek's not having to wear an ankle monitor, he can't really do much. So Braden's task was to get the family book from his house to lay the smackdown on that jabroni that Thingy needs dirt on. So yeah, Tyreek can't leave, so Effie and Braden are also going to handle the drug business side of things. So I mean, how's this going to go down? Caden then basically tells his dad, here, if I give you the connect, I'd be of no more use to you. And then, yeah, he's like, what the fuck are you? You my soldier? Are you my son? We've heard this conversation a million times already, though, kind of playing out between Kane and Monet. Monet then meets with Effie and speaks to Tyreek over the burner. So it looks like Effie's going to be the new connect in the middle of Tyreek and Monet, because obviously Tyreek can't really leave Manhattan or the canvas or whatever of Stansfield. So yeah, she basically says she had nothing to do with it, but I'm not giving you the okay to hang to my son, that sort of talk. Saxon overhears Lauren basically crying her eye, well, not crying her eyes, but moaning about the fact she was forcing to sign it. So yeah, Sax is like, that's some pretty key information. Effie then comes over to Tyreek's new apartment. I mean, the fact she's over at like his apartment is funny, considering the fact that Lauren's the one that's gave him this apartment. So he kind of needs to keep that relationship with Lauren going, like, doesn't he? And then he gives the note that Ghost left for him. But yeah, I know you'd end up here, little nigga. And if he reads it, that's kind of what happens, guys. It was funny for what it was, this episode, and that scene at the end. It was a good episode, but I think they probably should have just kept Tyreek in jail for a few more episodes. Like, last episode he gets arrested, big scene, and then next episode he gets out. I don't know, I like when characters are in jail for all. When I get it right, he got bailed. It's not like he just he's free of charges, whatever, but End of the day, he needs 2 million. Is he going to deliver on that? Of course he will. He'll pull 2 million for somewhere, that is for sure. But anyway, troops, that's going to do it for this review. Going to give this episode I'll give a 6 out of 10. I thought last episode was really good, but this episode a wee bit of a downgrade, but nothing major. Till next time, guys. Who's free? Fog Entertainment, hit that subscribe button there. We're for free. You know I'd ride for you, Tariq, said Braden once upon a time, but episode 7, force my hand, who's ratting, who's snitching, let's find it. I know it's a big rich town. Yeah, we got Lorenzo and Drew, though they're like wiping out the competition, so to speak. Drew wasn't too happy here that an innocent woman get killed. That's the charlatan in Big Drew. Then we've got, what the hell do you call her, man? Jesus, Monet. She gets confronted by Frank's wife, and it's quite funny that in this show, Agent LaGuerta from Dexter plays the wife of Agent Batista. Obviously, Frank's wife in this. So, yeah, that was an interesting one. Basically telling her, like, yeah, you know, our husbands do all this bad shit and then expect us to pick up the damage, sort of thing. So, yeah, where's this going? I'm not too sure. But as for Tyreek, there's CCTV footage of the killing of Agent Ramirez, and yeah, definitely a black man that killed him, so it's not looking good for Tariq in that department. But then Tariq returns to class. Oh, shit. And he's immediately put under pressure in the classroom by Kerry Milgram and co. Just a bit weird. You couldn't imagine this. Well, I say you couldn't imagine this situation in real life. In a civilized town, civilized city, well, you don't really get civilized cities anymore. You shouldn't really have this situation where someone in school is returning after being accused of murder, but here we have it. Enforced my hand. But yeah, it's always going to be a wee bit frosty, a wee bit awkward. Kerry Milgram, like, witnesses Tariq and Lauren kind of get into it on the playground, so to speak, within the college. But Tariq wants to have a witness other than his little sister, and yeah, it's Davis's old working buddy, but she doesn't want to help Davis or Tariq. She says it would end badly for both of you. So at least she gives him that regardment. But Sachs is also against the fact that they shouldn't be using Yasmin in this case as a witness. I mean, she is literally 9 years old. So yeah, I'm going to agree with Sachs and Tyreek here. Everett then gets a rap at his door as him and Drew were having a sex scene. Whatever happened there? Big Kevin, he's asking around. Kevin not really appearing that much in this episode and the next one, to be fair. Dante then confronts Seek at the basketball courts, tells him he's his dad. Why the fuck do you think I got this tattoo? I mean, it could just be a coincidence, like the guy having the tattoo. It's like, oh, that's why you got this name. But anyway, Seek's not really buying it. He tells Monet and Dante meets up. He tells her to stay the fuck away. It's like, they just keep... I don't get it, right? I get it. He probably doesn't want to kill Monet. He loves her, and he doesn't want to harm his son. But you think that Dante would be taking more drastic action here than what he is, because you see him when it comes to business out in the streets. I mean, he's a cold-hearted motherfucker, so don't know what's going on here. We've got Tabika meeting with Tyreek. She essentially refuses to help him. Then they get this deal ordered for Tyreek where he would give up the identity of the shooter. He would only do 5 years. Obviously, if he gave up Kane, Kane would be the one with the life sentence. But Tyreek would only do 5 years. And he's like, well, how the fuck's that going to work? Me being a rat in prison. And he's right, he can't rat. But then he's like making out that he would just be as bad as Ghost. But Ghost was never a rat. Like, he did get Tash's like business and all shut down. It's mad. Like, to think, like, a few months ago, like, I'm watching the original show Power, and now I'm, like, into season 2 of this, and I've watched season 1 of Power Book 4, so it's almost like the original offence of Power, in a weird way, never happened, even though they did, but I guess that's just how TV shows work. Like, time waits for no man, so to speak. Lorenzo and Dante meet, and it's a shame that these two have been getting played by Monet pretty much their entire lives, or else you could have seen these two definitely producing a team that could have withstood anybody. We then have Jabari Reynolds' dinner. Tate confronts Big Papa West and says, I know your wee buddy Sweeney's got blackface and it could be a problem unless he pulls out, so how about you pull? He's like, I don't pull out a black male lightly, but you do like blackface. Like, wee line there for Rashad Tate. Carrie, though, her arse collapses while trying to do the speech. Tate then confronts her and says, it's all a bit political. It did look bad, Carrie, but we're going to get you sorted for this. Lauren then raps the door of Tyreek. Tyreek's like, I don't really want to know you. And then he sleeps with Diana. Tyreek is getting around town, He takes the fee plates clean off Diana here. Tyreek is messing around completely. Kane and Drew then get into a fight. Kane then reveals that Everett's got to go because he's the one that gave up Drew's name. And his dad's like, you know what? You've got to kill Everett. Will Drew kill Everett? I'm not too convinced. Yasmin then takes like the stand behind the scenes and she kind of collapses because she says that Tyreek appeared as it was getting dark, but then says later that her and the grandma went out when it was pitch dark and Tyreek came back after that. I mean, it's a fucking 9-year-old kid at the end of the day, but yeah, it was never going to withstand. And Tyreek says, we're not using my data. And I absolutely agree with him. That's good. That is very good. Drew then goes to kill Everett, but Everett texts him, how you doing? I miss you. And Drew then whips out his phone, sees the text message, and can't bring himself to kill him. So, yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. He loves the guy, and he was about to drop him here. He's seen him with another guy, but it wasn't anything, inter body relationship, brother. That's not going on. Kane then confronts Davis, puts a gun to the back of his head in the back of his car, and, basically tells him to keep Tyreek on point. Davis is like, if Tyreek doesn't go... I mean, Tyreek saving his own skin saves Kane's skin at this stage of the game. Lorenzo and Monet are then having a wee night of love. Yeah. And then we end the episode with the montage of it's not the JTG, but the other rival crew getting wiped out here. And you see, like, on one side of the bed, Lorenzo gets a text message that's all been taken care of. All the rival gangs are taking that territory. Then on the other side of the bed, Dante is texting Monet. But Tyreek absolutely shuts down this whole deal. Kane then meets with Tyreek and essentially they just kind of go over pretty much everything that happened this episode, and Kane's still kind of worried that he could get jobbed out. And then to end the episode, we do have Davis going to Carrie Williams, telling her that she is going to probably get this entire case all fucked up, and Tyreek's going to jail, and makes a quote about, oh, you've slept with everyone, that's never been your downfall. And will Carrie Williams show up at the courtroom and try and bring down Tyreek and maybe save other students' skin? I'm not too sure. You'll have to wait for the next episode. But as for episode 7, I thought it was quite filler. Nothing really happened. Like, there was a lot... Like, the story didn't really go forward, if I'm being perfectly honest. But, guys, I mean, I'll give this episode a 5. It was average, man. It was very bland, to say the least. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. And until next time, peace. Family drama spilled over in this episode of Power. And I think this episode of Drug Related, Season 2, Episode 8... really did a good job. I think it absolutely delivered big time. I remember someone said that Power likes to make episode 3, episode 8 and the finale like their biggest episodes of the season. Maybe there's truth in that. Maybe there is. But we kick off this episode, we're in the courtroom, both sides are presenting their case. Tariq, he's not an unfortunate black man. The fact is he's a criminal. And that seems to be the gimmick with the St. Patrick's. Then Davis steps up. He lays the smack down, says that they're going after him, just like they did his puppy, sort of talk. But then the accusers bring in some evidence, a wire tap, which Davis and the crew, Sax and Tyreek, are not aware of. So this brings like a recess in. They're going to talk about it to the next day. So Davis and Sax listen to the tape. It turns out it's Lauren speaking to Tyreek, and it's the conversation they had a few episodes ago about him saying that there's no way that Professor Reynolds was writing a book about Braden. It had to be someone else, and that basically gives Tyreek motive to kill him. So that's not looking good for Tyreek. Absolutely not. Meanwhile, we've got Effie and Braden trying to get some drugs, but it turns out there's rat poison in it, so that ain't going to happen. Tyreek is then confronted by the mayor. I don't know, the mayor guy, I guess his father's like former attorney, and apparently Ghost had it where Yasmin could go into care, not care, but like get adopted, and there's nothing like Tyreek could do about it if like a situation like this ever happened. And I've seen people comment saying like there's potential for a spin-off about how Ghost isn't dead. So what? Like really? Is that going to happen? Like, I mean, he is like one of the best characters of the show, the franchise, whatever. But I think to back out and say that the guy's not dead is quite unrealistic. I wouldn't like to see that. Davis, though, he says Tyreek, he wants his money, and if he ain't paid by tomorrow, it's going to be a public defender for your little ass. It's pretty much how it's going down. Diana then overhears Monet on the phone talking to Dante, and Kane hears Dante on the phone. Kane doesn't obviously know what's going on, but Diana does hear about it. She goes searching for this and finds a book with Ezekiel Cross's baby photo in it. And then she rings up the birth certificate, and it turns out he's not born in 2002, he's born in 98. So, damn, Diana finding out some pretty big information here. Absolutely is. But, I mean, my problem with this is, right, like, there's a 4-year difference. When Seek was 12, everyone thought he was 8. It's like, and he's a big guy, like, could you imagine him being in, like, but then he would have been so much smarter. It's not just about physicality, like, I mean, he should be so much smarter, but saying that, like, he's a pretty dumb child, but it's just weird. Like, it is weird. Like, Seek's 20, he's actually 4 years older than what we think. Well, he's 23, right? Which means, like, I mean, say he was dating a 16-year-old, he would have thought he was 16, but in reality, he's like 20. Or if he was 19, he was dating a 15-year-old. I mean, I guess he didn't know. Like, so I mean, you can't really pin the blame on Seek, but I thought that was a pretty insane revelation. But then, in order to get money, we're going to perform pretty much a heist on Dante's house. We've got Effie, Braden, Tyreek, obviously, because he's wearing the ankle monitor. He has to do it at this like restaurant. So yeah, Kane, Effie, Braden, and Monet teaming up here with a bit of a weird combo, but that's how it's going to go down in this episode, and they managed to get Drew in. As long as Drew's the one to pull the trigger on Little Gap, will he be able to kill him? I'm not too sure, damn it. Then Davis lets Tyreek listen to the clip, which of course was Tyreek and Lauren talking about the whole book. And he shouldn't be allowed in doing that because his client wasn't allowed to listen to it. But then Sax like foolishly lets what do you call it? The accuser. He like because obviously he's sleeping with her, and he like tells her that Tyreek heard it. Pretty much told her that Tyreek heard it. I like Sax, right? But he digs a hole for himself, man. I mean, honestly, like what in the name of Christ is going on, Saki boy? Saki Maki. Like like I said, I like the guy, but I mean, when you dig your own hole, I honestly think it is hard to like, you know, not get behind characters, but it's like Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. I mean, yeah, great character, but he dug his own fucking grave, like, and that's exactly what Sax has done here. Maybe not to the same degree, like, but anyway, similar level, to be perfectly honest about it. We then have Kerry Reynolds. She gets a phone call from her, the accuser, so to speak. But what do you call someone that's on the... I don't even know what you would. Well, I don't even know what you call her, but yeah, I probably need to remember her name. But she phones her telling that Lauren could be in danger. Tyreek then heads out, assuming that Carrie Milgram will go to her the dorm of Lauren. And Tyreek was right, confronts her. He's like, you say you do the best for your students, but essentially you do what's best for you. Lays the smackdown on her. He's like, I'm not going to hurt Lauren, but there's other people out there that might. We then have like a wee date that Lorenzo and Monet go on, and yeah, for them, I mean, this is the last time they'll go on this wee date. Carrie Milgram goes on the stand, and yeah, our arse absolutely collapsed because she replaces Lauren in order to keep Lauren safe, damn it. And yeah, Davis brings up the fact she slept with Ezekiel Cross, she slept with Sabari Reynolds, she slept with Kevin, the police officer, she slept with him, and now she's going to get fired from her job. She's not really got much to live for. At least there's good news in that department. Meanwhile, chaos. Dante's hangar gets hit. We then see Effie go in, turn off the powers off here. So we've got Kane, Chef, and Dante head to the hangar. I mean, the BSK here, they essentially get all wiped out. Apart from one of them manages to steal the shipment. Then Chef heads back. While he's headed back, we have Drew, who's ended up killing Little Guap. Again, why didn't he just shoot him? We get like another forced fight scene. I wasn't really a fan of that, but he ends up killing him. He goes in, looks like he's going to have to kill Chef, but then Kane's like, oh, come on, Chef, let's go, we gotta pack all this up. They then go to the hangar. Dante's like, we've got a mole among us. And it looks like he's going to slice Kane's throat, but then he ends up slicing Chef's throat. And it's like, how many times has he done this exact same gimmick with Kane? Where he sliced someone else's throat? Well, Kane's there anyway. Thought that was quite interesting to say the least. So yeah, the heist has been completed on Big Dante's house, motherfucker. And yeah, boom, 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 brilliant stuff. And then for me, we get probably one of the best scenes that I've seen in Power Book 2, where we have the dinner table. We've got Kane, we've got Diana, we've got Drew, we've got Monet, and we've got Lorenzo. So yeah, Diana starts this, puts this shitstorm in motion, says that Kane's the one that replaced the drugs with sugar so he could set himself up as our connect. Kane then says, oh, well, you know what, since we're spilling all these secrets, Drew, he didn't actually kill Everett. Lorenzo's like, what in the hell's going on? And then Seek's sitting there, and Seek's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, you're going to kill one of my teammates? And I actually forgot at that point that Seek was even at the table. Then, what else have we got? We've got some crazy ass stuff, man, going on. But essentially, Diana calls out Monet about her lover, Dante. And Seek's like, wait, what? Dante? That guy said he wasn't my dad. He was my dad, but he's not. Ain't that right, Auntie? And then the biggest bombshell of the lot, Diana's like, she ain't your fucking auntie, Seek. She's your mother. And Seek storms out. No wonder. Lorenzo's like, what the fuck's going on here? And essentially tells Monet to leave. And also the big reveal that he wasn't born in 2002. He was born in 98. And then Kane's like, so holy shit, that doesn't even make me your oldest son. Really? Really, Kane? Is that the biggest takeaway for this fucking family implosion? I'm not the oldest son anymore. Alright, whoop-de-doo. And also the fact that Seek is 23, not 19, means he's broke NCAA drafting NBA laws. So that's not looking good for him. But what happens then? Tyreek sleeps with Effie. Are these two going to go in a relationship? I don't really know. Tyreek's fucking banging everybody at this stage of the game. Monet then visits Kerry Williams. What's going to happen here? I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. And then, because she thinks that Seek's going to visit her, and she's right. Seek does visit her, and he finds a body hanging, but we don't actually know what body it was. Obviously, I mean, I'm 99% sure it's going to have to be Kerry Williams. But we'll have to wait and see. R.I.P. Chef, all that good stuff. But honestly, I felt like the last 20 minutes, man, with that, I thought the family reveal, like all these secrets coming out, man, was really well done. So what I will say is fair play to the show for that. I'm going to give this episode, I was going to give it a 9. I'll give it an 8. I feel like there were some things I didn't like, but that whole scene with all the revelations coming out was really well done. But anyway, guys, till next time, leave your thoughts down below, and peace. Fair fight, question mark. Welcome back, guys, to Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 9. And we are getting stuck straight into this. We've got the return immediately of about 20 characters. You've got Ray Ray, you've got Proctor, you've got the now confirmed dead Kerry Milgram. Damn it, you've got Keisha. So many returning dead characters, and it is insane to think. You also got Kanan. You've got so many characters that Tyreek got killed in his watch. And he has a dream, and it's kind of like Lauren comes in. He's like, "Oh, you can't go in there." Like the classroom was to resemble all these people that he'd got killed, and he doesn't let Lauren go. So will he save Lauren this episode? We'll have to wait and see, because there's some pretty big revelations here. Tate's then speaking with his brother. His brother reveals that there's a witness, but she keeps changing her story about the fact that there was 2 people there. So that's not looking particularly good for the murder there of Jabari Reynolds. We then cut to Dante and Monet. Looks like they're now living together. I mean, what's going to happen with Monet? I'm not too sure. But Kane managed to get himself promoted here by Dante. Kane is then told to put his arm out, but Dante doesn't cut his hand off, which he almost thought for a second he did. So he's just became Dante's bitch here. But obviously Lorenzo, he's not taking things well. He's kind of destroyed the upstairs bathroom. He's found that all the product's gone, and the re-up ain't going to happen. So he sends Drew and Diana off to find the fucking stolen gear. Tyreek then comes good on his leverage that Tate wants over Sweeney. He delivers the blackface photo. We don't get to see the photo, but you know what? It's actually kind of funny, so we'll probably pick for a comedic reveal later down the line. But Tate defends Tyreek, stays true to his word. Looks like this case is going to get thrown out, but he kind of throws his brother under the bus, which isn't exactly ideal. We then have Seek talking to Dante. It's good seeing these two talk, but I don't think Dante's going to be around much longer, so you better let go of that. Absolutely. But Seek then tells them both as they're sitting down, he's like, you know what? Once I get drafted, I'm away, and I don't want anybody to follow me. And I feel sorry for Seek. I mean, it's a groundbreaking lie. it is, it's completely made him fall apart, man. An absolute disaster, to say the least. But then, like, kind of out of nowhere, they're desperate to try and pin Tyreek to these murders. So Trace and Hayden get brought in, and Trace just lands him in it. He says, "Yeah, I know, Kane, and it was Officer Ramirez that pulled us over that night." And it turns out on his dash cam it was Trace and Hayden that got pulled over, and also reveals that Kane kidnapped these two and made them sell drugs. So at this point, I don't see how these two can get out of this situation. It looks like Trace is now going to be admitting to this. He's going to be testifying. So I think Trace will die probably next episode. Because guess what, troops? He didn't die this episode. So the Westons are kind of backed into their corner. Tyreek then tells the main guy, "Hayden, Braden, sir, you got to lay low, bruh. But also, you've got to get Lauren out of here." But at this point, we also have Diana using Tyreek's feelings for her to get the QR code that gets her into all the drugs, and then her and Drew steal them and give them back to Lorenzo. So Lorenzo, I mean, honestly, at the start of this episode, did I think for a split second this was going to happen? Absolutely not. And then during Seek's press conference, he announces that he's going to be leaving New York. And they're like, "Oh, is this due to your family?" Then it's announced via Bleacher Report that he's probably lied about his age. And then the guy, his coach tells him, "You won't be seeing fucking Sacramento, kid, if this is true." So it looks like Lorenzo's leaked this to the press. We then have like a drive-by shooting on Lorenzo, Dante, Monet, and Seek. Was this Lorenzo? No, it looked more like the BSK crew, so I'm not too sure about that regard. Effie then meets up with Kane, tells her all she knows about the fact that Lauren wore a wire, and that incriminating evidence is pretty bad. But what's Braden going to do? What is he going to do? We're not too really sure, but the game plan is for Dante and Monet is that they're going to put the family on their private jet and get them out of there. But it turns out this is like Dante's like plan this entire time. Almost a bit weird that this was his plan the entire time. But anyway, I digress. Not here to talk about that at the end of the day. But Kane phones Monet and then tells them all about the stuff that's going on. And then she's like, "Hold on a minute. This sounds like a guy I might know. Send us a picture." And it turns out, yeah, it's mental this reveal's coming out now. Kane figures out, holy shit, Dante, so you're Seek's dad. And yeah, big massive reveals here. So big reveals back to back. Crazy stuff going on. Braden then picks up Lauren and heads out. But as this is going on, Dante's over to get the bag back with all the passports and shit in it. And Tyreek confronts him. But then Davis actually tells Tyreek that Dante's like the biggest snitch in the Western Hemisphere. And it's like, what? That came out of nowhere. Tyreek then uses this leverage against him, which I thought was kind of unique there. But for this guy to be a snitch, almost like my estimation of Dante drastically went down here. And then he like reveals to Tyreek that he's actually the one snitched on Lobos and brought him down. I'm like, Lobos? Oh ho ho, that Lobos. So he kind of thanks Tyreek. He's like, you and your dad and Tommy dealt with that problem. And that made me a happy man. It was good hearing like Tommy and Ghost get name dropped again. But who is this guy? Could this guy flee and end up in Chicago for Power Book 4? I'm not too sure, but he spares Tyreek because Tyreek uses the leverage that he's a snitch on him. Braden looks like he's going to kill Lauren. I never thought he was going to kill Lauren. Effie then turns up and takes Lauren herself. But again, I don't think Effie's killed Lauren here. I think that's the reality. Doubt she's killed her. We then have like the entire crew. We've got Lorenzo basically getting his death wish here because you've got Dante, Monet and Kane agreeing to kill him. But I think there's going to be a switcheroo. It's set up for quite a big finale. Like last season's finale felt massive as well. And you know what? It's like sometimes the show ain't perfect. I do think Par, more often than not, delivers on its finales. Like it's got great finales, so much happening. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Fair Fight. I will give it a fair review of 7 out of 10. And until next time, leave your thoughts down below. Big Stevie Cool will be back very soon on Fog Entertainment for the Season 2 finale. It's going to take money and power for Tyreek to get back with his sister and his mother. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're here with Love and War, Season 2, Episode 10. We're at the Season 2 finale of Power Book 2, and shit is really going to hit the fan this episode. And let's get stuck straight into it. We've got Dante and Monet on the boat making moves to kill Lorenzo, but turns out Monet doesn't want to kill Lorenzo. She just wants to kill Dante, but she wants Dante to make it look like he wants Caden to kill Lorenzo. It just seemed a bit messy this episode, I'm not going to lie. I think like the previous episodes built up to be like a really good finale. And I think for the most part, they kind of dropped the ball, if I'm being brutally honest. We have the court. Tariq finds out that it's going to be the main man, Trace Weston's going to testify, but then it turns out that Braden has hijacked it. He admits to selling all the drugs on campus and essentially gets Tyreek off here. I just don't buy this. Like, why? They're pushing the whole white privilege thing so much. It's not white privilege. It's about money, all right? It's a money-oriented... See if Braden was a jobber, white guy for a working-class family. You wouldn't be getting away with all this shit white privilege. You'd be having fucking money. Money's the name of the game, man. Without money, you ain't shit. I mean, I enjoy Power, right? And I enjoy the spin-offs and the sequels, but I think they need to seriously, like, reel in on the woke shit, man. It's the 2020s. I mean, at least during the Kanan spin-off, if they want to whip out white privilege in the early 90s, man, it might have existed a wee bit more back then, but Jesus Christ, during these times, I think it's a wee bit pathetic to bring it up every second. Also, it's confirmed this episode that Lauren Baldwin is dead, and Jenny is pretty upset about this, and Sax tells her, you know what, you need to give up going after Tyreek. I had the same obsession with his father, and I could never, ever get close to him in the end. It brought me to almost killing him that one time. But yeah, Tyreek, here's that plan that I've explained earlier from Monet. But he says, once I do this, I'm out the game. I just need to wait and Dante give me my 2 million. Is Dante going to give him the 2 million? I'm not too sure. So the master plan at this point, there's a lot of moves that have to happen. Drew has to do his own thing. Kane and Tyreek have to show up. But then when they show up, right, to kill Lorenzo, well, Kane has to. Tyreek says, no, don't kill Lorenzo. Don't kill your father. It's not part of the plan. And it's like, if Kane actually went through with his mission of killing his dad, he could have killed me here before Tyreek even said anything. Rashad Tate then shows up at Sweeney's like dinner, whips out the envelope of the blackface. So yeah, absolutely not good in that department. Seek then turns up at Kevin's work in the NYPD. He wants to know if Kelly's death was a suicide. He tells him yes. So we'll have to wait and see. Is this storyline going to bleed into season 3? Well, there's only one guy that's bleeding into season 3. Well, a few of them this episode, to be fair. We'll have to wait and see. Tyreek looks like he's making some sort of a deal here, I guess you could say. He manages to get Yasmin out of custody and back living with Tasha, but they're under different names, and he was in the car and they couldn't see them. So yeah, I mean, was it... Tasha's an OG, right? I'm not going to deny that for the original show, but she's a fucking rat snitch bastard. I don't see how many people can be rooting for Sasha. And when I look on Reddit and I look at most of my comments, a lot of people bash her. And she is, but I just don't think they'll kill her. At least yet, I don't think they will at this stage of the game. But then we have the big showdown towards the end of this episode. Seek, he's driving to the hangar. Will he get on that plane with his family? Who knows? Will his family even get there? Monet's up at the crib house with Dante. He's pretty much spent this entire episode up here. But like I mentioned earlier, you have the whole meet. Lorenzo, Kane and Tyreek all reunite here. Or they unite, damn it. They wipe out all Dante's guys. Lorenzo's then but what's he like texts the guy on the phone about the hangar, and he thinks, holy shit, this Dante motherfucker's getting away. Turns out Dante's not getting away, guys. Alright? Absolutely not happening. During all this though, you do have Monet who texts Tyreek, meet me at Mecca's. So who knows how that's going to go down. We also did have Dante on the phone talking to like a CI or whatnot. Well, he's the CI. Turns out he's speaking to Blanca Rodriguez. We then have this like cringy scene where Drew says goodbye to Everett, and then like the crew, the BSK, jump him, and like they have like an opportunity to kill him so many times, and they don't. It's like, I hate when they put characters who you know they're not going to kill off. Even though, I mean, I guess they could kill Drew, right? But it's like, why put them in these situations where you know they're not going to die? Or it makes it like obvious plot armor. Like, Kane was just like so delayed helping him both times. Like, here, did he save his life? Yeah, but like, what are these guys waiting on and pulling the trigger? Monet then kills Dante as Tyreek's heading up the elevator. A bit lackluster, I don't know. Just shoots him right in the head, and that's it. It just almost felt like this season was a waste in terms of this season finale. If I'm being truthful, Tyreek hears the gunshot. Him and Monet are going to clear it. sort of situation out. They wipe the cameras clear of the room. Blanca Rodriguez gets to the crime scene. She manages to get an image of the camera shot in the lobby and can see Tyreek in the corner of the shot. I think the best case scenario, right? Like, in part, no one really ended up in jail. Like, 2-Bit did, and he managed to get out. Like, if we're being truthful, troops, what we need to happen, I think someone needs to do serious time in this show. And Davis's weird, junky-ass looking brother isn't exactly cutting the mustard for me either. Dante, though, he's dead. We then have Lorenzo heading to the hangar. He sees this guy with his hood up running towards the plane. He thinks that is Dante, but it's not Dante, it's Seek. And holy shit, Lorenzo shoots him. And then we find out via later on the phone for Kevin ringing Monet, your son is dead. Holy shit. Pretty massive. Also, Rashad Tate, he's getting all his dreams coming true. His brother's going to work for him and all that good stuff. You then have Tasha receiving a letter for Tyreek about saying, I'm going to get the money and power. I'm going to come live with you one day. So yeah, the season ends on the cliffhanger. Well, Monet answering the phone, and looks like, for her sake, her son's dead. Is she going to find out Lorenzo did it? I would say she is going to find that out. And she's not going to be too happy. Bit weird for them to kill Seek. I feel like he's like the black sheep of the family, right? But you've got like 3 other family members for them to kill. And I did think Drew was a goner this episode. Because you've got Diana, you've got Kane, and you've got Drew. Diana, I don't think they would kill the female child. Kane, I just think Kane's better than Drew. I think there's a bit more conflict with other characters going on, but then Drew brings them their whole LGBT like sideline storyline, doesn't he? But overall, guys, I thought it was a pretty weak finale. Like, there was so much going on, but I don't think they executed it really well. I think it sums up par. Like, there's never a dull episode. There's always crazy stuff going on, but it's all about the execution. And I thought the execution was a wee bit poor. But anyway, troops, till next time, we're going to give this episode a 6 out of 10.